And I look at us trying to change our life as like trying to break an addiction. We are addicted to our old identity, our old way of being, and we will create any excuses. Welcome to the Penthouse Frequency. I'm your host, Carla Elizondo, licensed psychotherapist and mindset coach. Here we explore personal development, spiritual awareness, emotional sobriety, and the tools that help you regulate so you can live from the inside out. We're not here to bypass life. We're here to alchemize it. No more basement thinking and feeling. It's all about the penthouse, baby. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode. I am so grateful to have you here. Let's dive right in. This week, I'm going to talk about why we continue to technique hop around to the next best thing, the newest, hottest thing that we think is going to fix everything. It's going to be the answer to all of our problems that we've been struggling with for so many years and decades. But this time, it's going to be different. So we're going to explore, why does our brain keep searching for the next technique instead of committing to the practice of one? And so I want you to really take this personal when you're listening to this. Think about yourself. Have you ever felt like you've tried everything when it comes to manifestation, goal creation, trying to change your life? You've tried all the techniques, the affirmations, visualizations, even therapy, right? If you're trying to overcome something, breath work, journaling, courses, different coaching programs. You've been hopping around. You've tried it all. Yet you still feel like nothing has worked. Maybe it just works for everyone else. Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe this is my karma. Maybe I wasn't meant for greatness in this lifetime. No, it's about consistency. It's about sticking to one thing. Anything works when you're ready. When you are ready, anything works. The perfect example, we see this all the time when it comes to the fitness world, the dieting world. There is always a new diet, a new technique, a new method, a new scientific discovery. And examples, obviously, we see, people that go vegan. Maybe we shouldn't do plant-based. Maybe we should go keto, paleo, intermittent fasting, juice cleanses, programs like Weight Watchers. None of them are bad. It's just different. One of them will speak to you, but you got to do it consistently. Also, it's a way of life, right? It's not something that we do temporarily. It's a change in lifestyle permanently. And so we see people, especially, in the diet world, they jump from one thing to another. But what do we know underneath all of it? What do we know about physical health? It's about eating nutritious foods for our body, right? Our body type, moving our body, and just doing it consistently. That's the formula. It's simple, but we don't like simple. We love to make things complicated. A Course in Miracles always says the ego loves complication. It loves to keep us always searching, never finding. And so it really comes down to consistency. And the people who succeed are the ones that stop searching and they start living, they start embodying and practicing it. They're done sitting in the classroom of learning and taking in new information and trying new things in the lab. They go out and they actually implement it in real life. They embody it. It's their lifestyle. So I take that metaphor of physical health and diet into our internal health, like our mental diet, personal development. And if you consume any of this content on YouTube, on social media, anywhere, you will always see people will claim that their method is the one that works, whether it be manifestation techniques, affirmation, even therapeutic modalities, like I do therapeutic coaching, right? Therapeutic modalities. And again, different programs, mindset hacks, the one mantra or spell that's going to work for you. And we truly believe that the next technique will finally be the one. But you know what? The brain loves this pattern. Why? Because it creates the feeling of progress without requiring actual deep change. So really, the search, the newness, the novelty is the thing that feels productive. But embodiment is what actually changes. Embodiment of what? Whatever resonates with you, whatever works with you. But you just got to stay consistent. And know that a new fad might come out, but you're going to stick to what you decided to stick to, what works for you. It's the consistency. It's unsexy. It's very boring, honestly. Now, let's look a little bit about why the brain loves searching. Our brain is wired for quick solutions. It's for newness and novelty and avoiding discomfort. And consistency requires discipline. And discipline requires tolerating discomfort, and we don't like discomfort. We want to remain in our comfort zone, because anything outside of that is just too painful. It's a threat to our survival. At least that's the way our body reads it. So the brain tries to escape by convincing us, oh, the next thing, that'll finally fix it. Oh no, this person really knows what they're talking about. The truth is, nobody outside of you, no coach, no therapist, no priest, no preacher, nobody outside of you has the answer. You have it within. The best coaches and teachers, that's what I loved about Bob Proctor, he taught that the answer was within me. And that's how I am as a therapist too. I had really great mentors and coaches in therapy. And, they taught me your client is expert of their life. You're not helping them. You're helping them help themselves. That's really what's going on. But when we are trusting the outside world, when we think the next thing is going to be the thing that fixes it, that's what keeps us in this perpetual seeking mode. And so what's the real formula to change? I said a little bit before, right? It's consistency and discipline, just sticking with one thing that works for you. But whether your goal is healing emotional wounds, financial success, fixing your money issues, building more confidence, starting a business, or just manifesting a new opportunity that you've always wanted, the fundamentals are the same. Having a strong mental diet, putting positive thoughts and words in your mind, consuming positive content. That is number one. And then regulating your nervous system, regulating your body, grounding, breathing, journaling, tapping, going for walks in nature. Those are really the two main ones, like regulating your body and being very vigilant of what you allow into your mind, your mental diet. And then once you are in a regulated state and you have a pretty good mental diet, right? Nobody's perfect. But if your mind is pointed towards the positive and you have a regulated body, you can take aligned action, because when you are in a dysregulated state, your actions are misaligned. Like, in your car, when your alignment is off and your steering wheel veers off, you try to go in a direction and your steering wheel tries to go in a different one. Like, your alignment is off. Your car is not regulated. That's a perfect example. So we got to fix that alignment first. That's the regulation of your nervous system. So when your nervous system or your car is realigned, you can go in the right direction. You can take the right action, and staying consistent with that action, just showing up every single day, whether it feels exciting or not. Again, not to push yourself if you feel ill and you need to take a break, but nobody could tell you what you're capable of. You have to really be honest with yourself. And then lastly, just belief. Belief you can do it. If you don't have belief, ain't nothing's going to happen. Beliefs are everything. And what are beliefs? They're just thoughts that you repeat over and over, wrapped with emotion. It's like brainwashing. And we are all being brainwashed 24/7 by ourselves primarily, but by our environments. So what do we believe is true? But these principles of having a strong mental diet, regulating our system, our nervous system, our emotions, taking that aligned action, being consistent, and believing, those principles are pretty simple, but they're not easy. So this is why people try to escape them. We want to avoid them. Oh, no, there must be an easier way. That's what they say in AA. Like when addicts, they think they can handle and control their drinking on their own without support or getting sober. They think there's an easier, softer way, but there is not. Our way is not working. The way that we are approaching our life and living our life and managing our drinking, it ain't working. We think there's a easier, softer way, but there's not. And I look at us trying to change our life as like trying to break an addiction. We are addicted to our old identity, our old way of being, and we will create any excuses. And you know what? I mean, there's so many things. I work with a lot of people. Some people are ready for change. Some people aren't. I deal with people all in between. And I myself have been in places of not wanting to change and wanting an easier, softer way and people to just coddle me and listen to me and validate me. But I think I really need to admit to myself, I am somebody who understands the importance of taking action and getting really uncomfortable. And there are different gifts that different therapists have. I really think that my gift lies in having people take massive action, getting really uncomfortable. Like when you come to me, you have to be ready to take action. And I know my sister Melissa will be laughing at me because not anytime, but when I really do feel that action would be the best course, I don't hold back. Like that part of me will be ready with a list of things and actions you can take, even small things. But I understand the resistance to doing anything that is changing. And of course, depends on the situation. There's a time to really reflect and explore your emotions and identify what's really happening underneath the surface. But if we keep coming to the same crossroads and we're like, no, I just need to think about it more. It's like, no, you need to take some action. Because when it comes to healing, like we heal in layers. And whenever a new layer is being unpeeled, those are those like windows of opportunity for us to make a change. And it doesn't have to be some big life altering change. It's little changes like, how am I going to take care of myself? How am I going to change up my routine? But a change needs to be made, and I will stand 10 toes down on that. But, we resist that because it's uncomfortable. And so what starts out to be something we want to change, something that is causing us pain, whether it be just a way of life, results, a situation that we catch ourselves in, we end up not only suffering with that, but then we start to suffer because we are in endless searching without answers, and we're just like caught in this loop, and we become exhausted. And we spend thousands of dollars on solutions, whether they be classes, courses, books, products, Amazon binges. We can spend years in therapy. If you know me, I do not, the longest I've ever seen a client was like maybe 2 years, 2 or 3 years. But there had been breaks. Like I'm not that type of therapist who will see clients for years and years because it's like, what are we really here for? And to each their own, no judgment, but that is not the kind of therapist I am or the kind of client I am. So yeah, we spend a lot of money on outside solutions, years in therapy, and endless podcasts, books, audiobooks. Carla, I'm talking to myself. But I still felt stuck. What was the change? First, this is not to beat ourselves up. It's about being compassionate, reframing it in a compassionate way. Like, what needs to change? Even though it's scary, even though it's uncomfortable. What's really going on? Why do I keep feeling like I'm starting at square one instead of like building a momentum and actually making a change, getting somewhere? Because I'm not staying consistent to a repeated path. That's why, because I keep jumping from one path to another. Well, at least I did in the past. Things have definitely changed. And if anybody knows me, my sisters know me, I am changing things constantly, always moving the bar, always starting a new challenge or making myself uncomfortable. And trust me, I'm always crying on their shoulders, but that is just a sign that I know I'm getting uncomfortable and growing, and I'm proud of myself for that. Now, let's move into some examples of people who followed simple strategies like this or taught it, right? Of course, we know in the book Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill taught about it as persistence, the whole chapter on persistence. Highly recommend. I think you can download a free copy online or just Google the chapter of persistence. You can look on my YouTube channel as well. I have a couple videos on persistence. And so that's like a mindset when it comes to personal development. It's a rule to live by. Be persistent. Continue. Don't stop. We see it all the time with athletes, their daily training. We see it in the business world, entrepreneurs who stay committed to their vision even when they broke, even when nobody believes in them. And also we see it in artists, like in their daily practice, practicing their craft, playing their instrument, tuning their voice, going to rehearsals. And so when you really look at it, the successful people rarely chase new systems every month. They are pretty boring. Like when you look at, was it Steve Jobs? He wore the same thing every day. The most successful people, their routines seem pretty boring. Like really, womp womp. We expected some magical unicorn routine. No, it's the discipline and the consistency. It's the boring behind the scenes stuff that is not very inspiring. It's just discipline and consistency. But that's what builds the momentum. That's what gets results. And so successful people choose a path. They make a decision, right? The power of decision. They choose a path and they stick to it. They put their blinders up and they just keep doing it until they reach their goal. And when we stay in that repetition and we continue to do things every day, it's like who we are. It becomes our identity. We are embodying these disciplines, these actions. It's just who we are. So when we look at this concept of embodiment, it's genuine transformation. Like every cell of our body is embedded with this information. We're not just consuming. We're actually producing. It's not more data collection. It's application. And so listening to content, right, consuming it is not the same as living it. We know those people who sit around and they yap about everything they know. They have answers to questions. They're so intelligent and elegant. And then you look at their lives and you're like, then why do you look like that? Why do you live like that? Why do you behave like that? It's like they know all this stuff, but they're not living it. It's just caught in their conscious collective data shelf help. They're not living it. And so the name of the game is really embodiment. I have a whole workshop on embodiment, which I don't think I'm going to sell as like a private thing. It's going to be a part of my community though. Many of you know I'm going to start and open my Penthouse Frequency community April 1st. So whenever you're listening to this, I will always leave a link down in the show notes of how you can join the Penthouse Frequency community. It's about embodiment. It's about living this material in a like-minded community. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check it out. But this whole thing of embodiment, it means to, really practicing these daily things, not just reading about them. It's about thinking differently, acting differently, because when you think differently, you feel differently, you act differently, and you respond, you show up differently to life. That's where the real change happens. That's when your identity changes. You are not just listening to content, you're living it. You're not just taking in more information, you're transforming your life. And so I know that sounds exciting, and I know that you are capable of doing it. But why does it sometimes feel so hard? Like, why does it feel so difficult at times? Well, just know that the resistance you feel is normal. Repetition is key, and I'll say it again. Your brain is not wired for success or for you to thrive or for you to keep changing and growing. It is wired for you to stay safe and exactly where you're at. And so consistency, it challenges our impatience. We want results yesterday. It challenges our perfectionism. We want to do everything perfect or not at all. And it challenges our emotional discomfort. We hate being uncomfortable. I would say that's the number one reason why people don't want to make change and take action. They don't want to be uncomfortable. And that was certainly me. So I think that's why I'm so passionate and so, I don't know, just really outspoken. And I feel, triggered could be a word too, when people don't take action, because that was me for years. And I know the pain. And I know when I look back, it's like, wow, I could have done that a long time ago. I wish someone was more firm with me. That's what I wish. So maybe, I'm just being the person I wish I had. And consistency, right? Being consistent also challenges our doubt. It uncovers the parts of us that doubt we can actually do it. But if we're consistent, we start building confidence and our doubt disappears. But we kind of love our doubt because it's like, well, if I don't have to really show up, if this might never really happen, I never have to put myself fully out there. It's like the secondary gains. Like a part of us wants to heal, but a part of us wants to stay exactly the same. And it's not conscious, right? Like you'd be like, girl, you're crazy. I want to change. Do you? What are you doing? Like what actions are you taking? So having this resistance to being consistent and being disciplined is very normal to growth. It doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means that you are expanding. You are growing past those old limits of comfort and the known. You're going into the unknown. That's really what it's all about. The things we fear the most are the things that we can't see. They're unknown. And so it brings up a lot of fear. Just like being in a dark room. Yeah. You're more confident when the room is nice and bright and you can see everything. But when it's, dark or faded, it's like, oh my gosh, is something lurking in the darkness going to come up and attack me? And that's very normal. But how do we overcome this resistance and not wanting to be in pain? I want you to right now think about everything you've ever learned. And I want you to just choose some simple practices that resonate with you. For example, me, I love journaling. I love reflecting on my day, even if it's just one sentence, one paragraph, or it could be 3 pages sometimes, or even more. But I know that journaling for me is an anchor. I know that A Course in Miracles, reading some Course in Miracles every day is an anchor, and breath work or tapping, being in nature. I mean, now I'm getting to be a list, but I do these things every day, at least a couple of them a day, but they're my anchors. So I want you to find anchors that you really enjoy, that really work for you, that you've been falling off the wagon, or you're like, God, yeah, I felt so good when I did that, but I just lost the momentum or whatever it is. So I want you to think of, let's just say 3 things that work for you, that you really enjoy doing. Think of those 3 things. And I want you to commit to them for the rest of your life. No biggie. And maybe you'd be laughing right now, but I'm serious. When I say that, commit to them for the rest of your life, if you laugh and be like, well, Carla, relax. Of course, we're not perfect. We can skip a few days, but committing to those non-negotiables for the rest of your life, I learned the hard way. Hello, sobriety. I had to commit to that for the rest of my life, but it's one day at a time. So look at the 3 things, these 3 simple practices, and commit to them one day at a time. One day at a time. And if you can't do that, if something in you is resisting, ask yourself why. That's the part of you that wants to hold on to the comfort in the old version. or you're doubting yourself. I want you to also not only commit to doing these things one day at a time for the rest of your life, but stop collecting things. Stop collecting modalities unless one really sticks out to you and you're like, oh my God, this is a game changer. But I want you to stop looking. If one falls in your lap, if trust that you'll attract the right thing. But I want you to stop searching, stop scrolling, stop looking for the next new thing, stop going down rabbit holes. You know enough. You know enough. Just focus on the daily reps of the things that you've already tried that work for you. Just get real simple about it. Back to basics. I want you to treat this like you're an athlete. You're just going to put in reps every single day, one day at a time, just for today. Whatever time you're listening to this, if you haven't done a practice, just try one before you go to bed. It doesn't have to be any longer than 5 minutes. I used to be somebody who's like, if I can't do it all, I am not going to do anything. Or if I can't do it for an hour, I'm not going to do it at all. If I can't go to the gym for 45 minutes, what's the point? Until I had a lovely friend of mine that said, Carla, can you get on the Stairmaster for 10 minutes? I was like, yeah. He's like, then just get on the Stairmaster for 10 minutes. If you do more, you do more. If you don't, at least you did 10 minutes. And that really is what got me into doing a daily routine. This was years ago. But when I was like in such a deep funk, I could not work out. I couldn't even get out of bed. It was so bad. I mean, I was working and like doing the bare minimum, but it's simple things like that. Done is better than perfect. Don't be into all or nothing. It has to be perfect or I'm not going to do it at all. We can fall into those, black and white, all or nothing cognitive distortions over here. So find a simple practice, a few of them. Do at least one a day, one day at a time. Don't be looking for new things because you already have your one thing. Commit to it. Repeat it daily. Treat it like your training ground, like you are a professional mental athlete. And just trust it works when you work it. Like I said in the beginning, whatever you choose will work if you're ready. It's usually not magic. When something really slaps and works for someone, everyone's clamoring to see, what was your formula? Break it down step by step. It won't work for you most likely. You can glean some maybe insight from their journey, but you have to find your own. We all have to find our own philosophy of life. We are responsible, not anybody else. And at first I could be like, oh God, I just want someone to help me. Just somebody do it for me. Somebody tell me what to do. I was that person. But then I realized like, oh shit, I'm going to be sitting at this bus stop waiting forever for some bus to pick me up. I got to start walking. So this was a quick one today, but just know that your life doesn't change by a perfect technique, by a perfect mental diet, by a perfect manifestation, by an actual diet. Your life, your body, your finances, nothing is going to change by one perfect trick or technique that you do. Your life will change when you become someone who shows up consistently. Find one or two things that work for you, do them daily, one day at a time that make you feel really good, and make them be non-negotiable. Also, like, this is not, especially from at least the philosophy I teach from, this is not a nice to have. This is not like, oh, I'll do this on the weekends. Personal development is cute. Like, this is a way of life. Like, I wouldn't be here, literally, if it was not for this material. So, maybe you're not at a point where you need to change. Like, maybe you need to suffer more. I'm not sure, but just know that you don't have to. You can make the change right now. Things don't have to be perfect. Just show up. Just be consistent. And that's when your identity shifts. When you just show up for yourself regularly, you might need to cut some people out, cut some things off, throw some things away. Because the truth is, being successful is not mysterious. It's a formula. That's what Napoleon Hill always used to say. It's like the formula to success. Success principle formula. Just follow it. That's all you got to do. Just like any trainer. Again, like any trainer in the gym, if you show up 3 to 5 days a week, you eat healthy, and you just keep showing up. Move your body, eat healthy, your body's going to change. So it's built through daily practices. So if you're the person, right, if you felt personally attacked, good. But honestly, it's like, if you've been jumping from one solution to another and just like collecting data and information, just know that endless searching is going to drive you insane. And it all goes back, all roads lead to the same thing. Consistency and discipline. But first you have to decide, what is it that you're going to do and be consistent in? What little shift are you going to make? It might be waking up 10 minutes earlier. That's all. Going to bed at an earlier time. Again, it doesn't have to be some crazy life-shattering change that is going to disrupt and uproot your life. Maybe you can do that if you want. I've done that too. But if you want to, you know what it reminds me of? Like standing in front of the pool. I used to hate I hate cold water. I hate being cold in general. But I was the kid at the pool that I had to ease into the water. It took me 30 minutes. All the other kids would get to the pool and jump right in, cannonball, woohoo, so fun. I hated that so much. I wanted to dip my toe in really slow. And then when someone would push me in, I would be so pissed, but then I would be grateful because it was over. I jumped right in the pool. So I guess it's are you ready to be pushed in the pool? And if not, why? What do you need to, well, I'm not ready. I need to, blah, blah, blah. It's what if someone just pushed you in the pool? What if someone just pushed you in the pool? What would you do? What would you lose? What are you afraid of losing if you got pushed in the pool? Meaning making the change, doing the thing. I think we coddle ourselves too much, but that's another topic. So real change happens the moment you stop asking, stop searching, just making that decision. What is the next thing? When you start asking, how can I embody the principles I already know? Not the next best thing I should try, or what's the hottest thing, what's working for other people. Usually other people have no idea. It's the blind leading the blind. The people who are actually successful aren't the loudest ones. Remember that. Remember that. So I hope you enjoyed that. This was sure fun. And I always need this reminder. There is no perfect, air quotes, mental diet. There is no perfect manifestation hack or technique. Whatever works for you. I want you to make a decision. I want you to find a tribe, a community that you vibe with, a person that just resonates with you, and just stick with it until you reach a goal. Just be consistent. Use practices you already know. Maybe you're somebody who's very self-led. You can do it on your own, but I always encourage community because you have accountability, right? Or just telling a friend or somebody you trust. But if you do want a community and you do resonate with the things I say, be sure to check out the Penthouse Frequency community. Again, it opens April 1st. I am so excited. I am there learning right there with you. I teach this so I can learn it because I got big things I want to accomplish in life. And I understand what it takes mentally to be there, and it is a daily practice. So I want to hold myself accountable, join with you, reaching your goals in this community as well. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got something out of it. Leave comments, whether you're listening on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. Be sure to rate it too. Give me 5 stars. Hello. That helps a lot. All right, y'all. Thank you so much for being here again. I'll see you on the next episode.